Hey, Kevin Durant is headed to Houston. The Suns are sending Kevin Durant to the Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the 10th overall pick, and 5 second-round picks. My question is, how did the Rockets keep Jabari Smith? How did the Rockets keep Jabari Smith? And wow. Well, Kevin Durant going to Houston, I predicted this. I figured that after that terrible playoff performance from Jalen Green, that they were going to move on from him. And it was a good thing that they didn't make any trades at the deadline so they could see who's really our number one. Is it Şengün? Is it Jalen Green? I knew it was Şengün all season, and he proved why he was an all-star. And I think he made all-NBA third team, or maybe he didn't. But he definitely had an all-star. He had an all-star year, had an all-NBA caliber season. And that's what they ended up keeping. It was pretty obvious after the playoffs in that Warriors series. And the Rockets were able to get Kevin Durant. They got rid of Jalen Green, gave up Dylan Brooks, gave up the 10th pick they had this year. I don't even remember how they got the 10th pick, with them finishing as the 3rd seed with 52 wins. And 5 second-round picks. Those second-round picks don't really mean too much, especially for a team like the Rockets who have a bright future. With, like I said, with Şengün, with Amen Thompson, with Jabari Smith, who they ended up keeping, who I thought would have been the centerpiece of the trade. I thought it would have been Jalen Green. I thought it would have been Jabari Smith in this package and not Dylan Brooks. And even giving up a veteran shooting guard, small forward, and Dylan Brooks, it doesn't hurt too much because you still have Fred VanVleet. You still have, like I said, you have a really good young core. You just re-signed Steven Adams to a new contract, having him come off the bench and give you some good minutes. So I love this trade for the Rockets. It's perfect that they moved on from Jalen Green now because they seen who's the better player out of him and Şengün. Making this move, you get a true number one option because Şengün probably isn't going to get you far as being the number one option. Like, he's a great player and he led them to the playoffs, but furthest you probably get with Şengün as your number one option is the second round. And now you get Kevin Durant, who's a multiple time finals MVP, been to multiple championship series and has experience. So I think this trade helps make the Rockets a legit contender next season. They could finish top 3 again. Maybe they end up finishing 1 or 2, but with some more experience with adding Kevin Durant, and I don't know what other moves they'll make, but the extension of Steven Adams was a really great move. Like I said, getting off of Jalen Green, that was good. Dylan Brooks, losing him won't hurt too much because you got rid of Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks and got back Kevin Durant, who's still a top 10 player in the NBA. So this trade is perfect for the Rockets. For the Suns, I don't get it. I think the Suns lost this trade because now you're playing Jalen Green and Devin Booker, unless you get rid of Devin Booker. But I don't see them working well together. Like, maybe Booker plays the point guard, but Jalen Green definitely can't play the point guard. Booker might be solid at point guard. You still have Bradley Beal on the team, so you have to get rid of somebody. Like, you're gonna have to do a fire sale. You got to get rid of Beal and Booker, but you can't go into the season with Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Jalen Green on the same team. That's just a horrendous fit. Obviously, they wouldn't all start, but is Bradley Beal really going to come off the bench, or does he want to sit out? Because I don't know. Maybe they could convince Bradley Beal to come off the bench, but with him making that much money, I don't know if you want to bring him off the bench making that much money. But the smart move would be for him to go to the bench, and then you still don't get a center, which is what you were aiming for. Obviously, you weren't going to get Şengün, and the Heat weren't budging on Khalil Ware, but I'm surprised it's not a third team involved in this. Maybe something more comes out after this video, but so now I don't know what the next move is for them to get a center that they actually value and could use. Like a Nick Claxton maybe would be good for them. Maybe a not DeAndre Ayton, now they had him, but Robert Williams, maybe somebody like that. I don't know, but they do get the 10th pick, so I'm interested to see what they do with that. I think that's one of the best parts of this trade. The 5 second-round picks they might use to facilitate some other trades if they decide to move on from Beal or Booker. I do want to see Booker remain a Sun for the rest of his career because he's done so much for that franchise, been loyal to them. But if they trade him, it would make sense. If he has to go, it just has to happen. But I think the Rockets won this trade. It's a great move for them. This is a win-now move. You don't know how much longer Kevin Durant got, and you know the window for championship is not as long as it used to be when there hasn't been a repeat champion since 2019. Yeah, no team that's went to the finals since. No team that's won a championship has made it past the second round the following season. Like the Celtics, they lost in the second round this year. So this is a great move for the Rockets. I think they could win a championship. It just depends on what moves the other teams make. Obviously, OKC is going to remain active as they have been these past few years. So, whether the Pacers that just went to the conference finals back-to-back years and the finals this year, so it's going to be interesting to see what other moves are made. But Kevin Durant to the Rockets, that is a perfect deal. I think the Suns got finessed because I don't see how you didn't get Jabari Smith back in this deal. With him being 6'10", athletic, can do it all, power forward, can play small forward from time to time, very athletic and young. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't want to get Jabari Smith. I mean, I guess the Rockets weren't budging, but if I was them, I wouldn't make this trade if I'm not getting Jabari Smith back. I feel like he was the centerpiece of this because I'd rather have Jabari Smith than Jalen Green. Obviously, it's going to be hard to try to get both of them, but because they're both good young players. But I like the upside of Jabari Smith more and for what he can do, what he can provide on the defensive end as well. So I would, if I was the Suns, I would have did anything to get Jabari Smith, and if I couldn't, I wouldn't have took Dillon Brooks, because now what are you finna do with Dillon Brooks, Jalen Green, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker? Now Brooks can play the small forward; he'll be fine there with his great defense. But somebody else has to get traded. So the Suns, hopefully they get a better package back next time. Maybe they flip Dillon Brooks. I don't know. But I'm not a fan of this package. And the 5 second-round picks, they'll probably flip. But Kevin Durant, good luck in Houston. Maybe you can get one more ring before you retire and win another Finals MVP.